Alright guys, I'm driving back from the Royal Rumble, so I thought I might as well just do my recap now while I have some time to kill. I got like another hour in my drive. So, this was my first WWE event. I was at I was at a live show at Madison Square Garden like 5-6 years ago, but that was just a house show. So this was like my first real WWE show. So my opinion might be a little bit jaded. It's hard to tell. But okay, so I guess I'll start with the venue. I don't know why this is at Tropicana Field. If you're a baseball fan, you know Tropicana Field is kind of a shithole. I've never been there. It's not the worst stadium I've ever been to. It definitely has no amenities. I think WWE probably had a show here just because they had the show during the pandemic, so they figured, let's give them a favor. The place was filled out. The problem is the sound didn't carry good because it's not like an arena. It's a baseball stadium. It's an indoor baseball stadium, so the entire outfield was empty. So I didn't really like the setup, but it was filled up. The seats were incredibly cramped. They only had 4 matches, but you had to perfectly time when to go to the bathroom, when to do whatever you needed to do, because if you had to get stuck on a line, then you were going to miss the intros to the other matches. So anyway, let's get into it. It was only 4 matches. The Women's Rumble, the Men's Rumble, Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens, and then we had the Fatal 4-Way match. I was kind of assuming, I thought the placement of the Fatal 4-Way match was weird, because why would you put the Fatal 4-Way match before the Logan Paul match if none of those 4 guys are going to go back into the Rumble? It makes no sense to me. So I was really surprised that none of the 3 guys in the Fatal 4-Way match showed up in the Rumble. And I think the big thing of the night is that the Women's Rumble, honestly, was much better than the Men's Rumble. I think there's no denying it. The Men's Rumble, I don't know if it was just my viewpoint from the crowd, it seemed very rushed. I mean, I don't care if there really are 90 seconds between, but it seemed like it was incredibly rushed. And I had a lot of fun just being there. It's always fun. But my big takeaway was, there were no surprise entrances in the Royal Rumble, which is pretty crazy to me. I can't remember, and maybe I'm wrong, ever there being a single Royal Rumble where there wasn't a single old-timer. Number 30, Sami Zayn. I mean, I like Sami Zayn, but number 30 is supposed to be like a surprise entrance. I was sure once the entire match didn't have a surprise entrance, I'm like, okay, they're going to do The Rock, number 30. They're going to do someone. So yeah, I guess, I was expecting CM Punk to win, but the fact that Cody won, I mean, I don't know. I thought The Rock was going to come in at number 30, win the Royal Rumble, and then challenge Roman at WrestleMania. Maybe I'm crazy. But, yeah, it's getting a lot of buzz online. People are saying it's a dead crowd. The crowd was really into it. I just think people were uncomfortable, kind of how cramped it was. I don't know. It wasn't, I think the sound didn't carry good. And I guess the matches themselves, the Fatal 4-Way match, I think was a little bit subpar. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't ever remember a Fatal 4-Way match being DQ or no DQ. I don't know when that became a thing. As far as I can remember, in any of the video games or even in real life, the Fatal 4-Way match was never no DQ. So I don't know what that was about. I knew that's it. And this is another thing about the card is I think the Rumble had to be more surprises, more unpredictable, because we knew, at least I knew, I mean, if you're a fan, that obviously Logan Paul is going to retain. They're not going to take the title off him. And obviously Roman Reigns is going to retain. So if you already know that going in, then the matches either have to be really, really good, which they were solid, or you have to juice up the Rumble, which they didn't do at all. I guess another big thing, so Lesnar was pulled from the Rumble after the lawsuit. He was named in that Vince McMahon lawsuit, so they pulled him from it. And, yeah, so they gave it to Braun Breaker instead. I thought originally that spot was McAfee, because McAfee came in, surprisingly, he got a huge pop. McAfee probably got as big a pop as any of the wrestlers, both in the intro to the show and then as it went on. So they pulled Lesnar from the show, so Braun Breaker comes in and gets eliminated by Dominic Mysterio, which means that Lesnar was supposed to be eliminated by him. I definitely think that took some away. I mean, Lesnar would have got a huge pop. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing that they're able to have a full Royal Rumble with only guys on the roster. But this was shaping up to be the biggest pay-per-view ever, the biggest Royal Rumble ever. I'm not sure what the numbers are. Maybe they'll show it. But that was just kind of strange to me. And then, what else? Yeah, I mean, it was good there. I don't have much more to complain about. I guess other nitpicks I have is, I feel like they kind of cheaped out on the pyro. Maybe I'm just, because it was my first show, I wanted more, but the fact they didn't give Roman any pyro on his intro, I thought was kind of bullshit. I was looking forward to that. They gave, like, Austin Theory, like, a little pyro shot randomly during his intro, which was weird because no one else got that. And another nitpick I have is, I don't know why they're not doing the entrances. They're not announcing the wrestlers as they're walking in. They wait for all the wrestlers to get into the ring, and then they do the entrances. I think that kills so much of the vibe. I don't like that at all. I don't know if they're trying to do like if they're trying to mimic UFC maybe. I think that's what they're trying to do. But where to go from here? I mean, yeah, I mean, I think they're going to do Cody against Roman against WrestleMania, which I was surprised about, because then that leaves CM Punk needing an opponent. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the crowd's going to start getting sick of Roman or what they're going to do. But overall, I thought it was a good show, but it wasn't... I mean, it was really, really fun that I was there, but if I was watching at home, I could definitely understand being underwhelmed. There's just got to be surprise entrances. I mean, even Booker T, someone who even works there, even put Michael Cole in there. I mean, put someone in there that's a little bit surprising other than McAfee, just to do that little thing. Or Andrade, who came from AEW. But there really was nothing other than that. So that was kind of disappointing. And yeah, overall, I thought it was a good show. As you see, I've been posting a lot of the clips, going to be posting a lot more. But that's kind of my recap of the Royal Rumble. I thought it was not so surprising, to be honest with you, of any of the winners. But overall, a good show. And then I guess my takeaway is just, you know, WrestleMania. I don't know how fun it would be, honestly, to go to WrestleMania in an outdoor football stadium and you're sitting in the upper deck or even the middle deck, you know, for 5, 6, 7 hours. It could get cold. I don't know. I think if you go to these things, you're better off spending a lot of money and just sitting close if you can afford it, or even if you splurge a little bit, rather than sitting up top, because it's definitely tough to sit there the entire show. You have no room. I didn't even think of getting anything to eat. That's how little room there was. So that's my review. Thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next one.